You are 34, you have $310,000. Your brother earns the same salary you do. He has $14,000. The gap between you has nothing to do with your job, nothing to do with luck, and nothing to do with any advantage you were born with. It comes down to one decision you made many years ago, and the many years of being quietly laughed at for making it. This is your life, driving the same car for many years. You are 24. It is a Saturday in April, a used car lot on the edge of town. The salesman wears a polo shirt that is one size too small and shakes your hand longer than necessary. He walks you past the trucks, past the leather interiors, past everything designed to make you feel something. He stops at a gray 2013 Toyota Corolla. 71,000 miles, cloth seats, a small dent on the rear bumper he describes as character. You sit inside. Plain steering wheel. Firm seat. Nothing about this car will impress anyone you know. You hand over $9,400 in cash. You drive home with the windows down. The air conditioning makes a sound on the way out of the lot that you will spend the next several years learning to ignore. That night, you sit at your kitchen table and do the math on a piece of paper. $400 a month, invested consistently over many years. The number at the end is large enough that you read it twice. You fold the paper, put it in a drawer, and forget about it almost immediately. The next morning at a gas station, you pump $14 of regular fuel. The man at the pump beside you fills a black BMW without looking at the price. He glances at your car, then at you, and says nothing. He doesn't need to. At the office, a coworker named Derek parks next to you. Derek drives an Audi he clearly cannot comfortably afford. Derek laughs when he sees your car. Derek says, "Did you lose a bet?" You say no. Derek walks inside. You sit in the Corolla for a moment before following him. A few weeks later, lunch with an older man named Victor. Victor spent over 2 decades in finance and has been a close friend of your father's for most of your life. He doesn't volunteer advice. You mention you found a good deal on a used car. Victor doesn't congratulate you. He chews, he swallows, and then he puts his fork down. He says, "Do you know what a car actually is?" You say transportation. Victor shakes his head slowly. He says, "Most people don't buy cars. They buy permission. Permission to feel like they've arrived. Permission to be seen a certain way. Permission to stop asking themselves harder questions about who they actually are. You stop eating." Victor says, "The car you bought is the first time you didn't buy permission." You laugh a little. Victor doesn't. He wipes his mouth and picks his fork back up. You will not understand the full weight of what he just said for many years. You drive home in the Corolla. The question he planted sits somewhere in the back of your mind. You are 26. The Corolla has 89,000 miles on it. The seat makes a sound when you shift your weight and you stopped noticing it months ago. On a Tuesday morning at a coffee shop, you order a $2 black coffee. The parking lot outside fills while you sit by the window. 3 electric vehicles in a row, 2 luxury sedans, a large black SUV. You look at your Corolla sitting among them. It looks like a punchline that nobody laughed at out loud. That afternoon, your younger brother calls. His name is Leon. He is 23, 8 months into his first real job. He says he bought a car. You ask what kind. He says a lease, brand new, $490 a month, basically nothing. You visit him that weekend. The car sits in his parking lot like something from a showroom. Leon walks around it the way people walk around things that are still performing a function for their self-image. His phone buzzes twice while you're standing there. He glances at it both times and puts it away without answering. You don't ask. The car is still just a car. Back at the office on Monday, Derek is back. Derek has new wheels on the Audi. Derek says, "Still driving the Toyota?" You say yes. Derek says, "Are you doing okay? Like financially, are you okay?" You say you're fine. Derek walks away, satisfied with himself. You sit in the Corolla for half a minute before going inside. You are not fine, not because of the money, but because of the way Derek asked. That night at a grocery store, a woman loading bags into a large SUV next to you stops and looks at your car. She says, "Is that a 2013? You say yes. She says, "Smart choice, those things run forever." She closes her trunk and pulls away. You stand in the parking lot for a moment. That is the first kind thing anyone has said about the Corolla all year. You drive home. You take the folded paper out of the drawer. The number has grown. You put it back. The doubt is starting to settle in somewhere underneath everything. The car is still the car. The question Victor asked is still growing. You are 28. The Corolla has 112,000 miles on it. The driver's side door requires a specific technique to close properly, and you learned it long ago. On a Monday morning in the office parking lot, a woman from the accounting department stops when she passes your car. Her name is Carol. She is in her mid-40s. She drives a sensible sedan. She asks if you are doing okay. You say yes. She says if you ever need anything, a short-term loan, anything, just ask. We all go through difficult stretches. You thank her. She walks inside. You have $91,000 in savings, and there is absolutely nothing you can say about it. At lunch later that week, you sit down in the cafeteria near two co-workers who don't notice you've arrived. One of them says, "Did you see his car?" The other says, "I genuinely feel bad for him. He works hard." The first one says, "Maybe he's sending money home or something." You pick up your tray and go eat at your desk. The car is still the car. That Friday, a neighbor recognizes you in the cereal aisle at the grocery store. She is in her 60s, lives a few doors down. She says she noticed your car in the driveway and wanted you to know her nephew does mechanical work on the side. No charge, just in case. You thank her. She pats your arm and says, "We all go through seasons." You stand in the aisle holding a box of oats. At a family dinner that weekend, your mother pulls you into the kitchen alone. She says your father and she have been talking and they can help with a newer car if you need it. "Just a little," she says. "Nothing to feel bad about." You tell her you don't need help. She says it's okay to need it. You hug her and change the subject. That night you drive past Leon's building on the way home. The leased car is in the lot and beside it, a new Mercedes you don't recognize. You don't ask, you keep driving. At home, you sit at the kitchen table. You open the drawer. The number on the paper is now larger than your entire annual salary. You close the drawer without taking the paper out. Pity, you are learning, hurts more than mockery. The car is still the car. You are 30. The Corolla has 136,000 miles. A new noise has started somewhere under the hood, and you are not yet sure what it is. Her name is Diane. You have been together for 8 months. She drives a 2019 compact she bought used. She has never once mentioned your car. A Saturday in June, a friend's wedding, outdoor venue, white flowers, a string quartet under a tent. You drive Diane in the Corolla. She holds her dress carefully so the seatbelt doesn't catch it. You park at the far end of the lot and walk to the venue together. The lot is full. Luxury SUVs, electric vehicles, one sports car parked at an angle as if it deserves extra space. Diane looks at the cars, then looks at you, then says, "Leon is really doing well, isn't he?" You stop walking for just a moment. She is not being cruel. That is exactly what makes it land the way it does. You say, "Yeah, he's doing well." Inside the reception, Leon arrives in a matte gray electric SUV that is clearly brand new. Diane's expression changes briefly. She catches herself and looks away. Leon finds you and pulls you into a hug. He smells like cologne you couldn't afford without reconsidering something else that month. His phone buzzes inside his jacket twice. He doesn't check it either time. His jaw tightens slightly. He says you really should upgrade just once. You'd feel different. You smile and say, "Maybe." On the drive home, Diane is quiet. Halfway back, she says she just wants you to enjoy your money, that's all. You drop her at her place and drive home alone. The car is still the car. You sit on your couch at 1 in the morning with your phone open on a car listing. A 2024 sedan. $43,000. Financing available. Your thumb rests above the button. You think about Diane's face in the parking lot. You think about Leon's cologne. You think about Victor. You close the app and set the phone face down. You sit in the dark for 20 minutes. Then you open the drawer. The number is $148,000. You put the paper back and go to bed. You don't know it yet, but that was the night you almost broke. The car is still the car. You are 32. The Corolla has 162,000 miles. The check engine light came on 3 weeks ago. A mechanic looked at it. said it was a sensor and fixed it for $90. The light is off. On a Tuesday morning in February at 6 o'clock, 12 degrees outside, you walk to the Corolla in the dark and turn the key. Nothing. You try again. A single click and then silence. You sit in the cold without moving for 30 seconds. You have been here before. You call for roadside assistance. The driver who shows up is 25, has a beard, coffee in his cup holder, and a name tag that says Tommy. He opens the hood, connects the cables, and looks at the Corolla. He says, "How long have you had this one?" You say, "Many years." He stops what he is doing. He says, "Many years, same car?" You say, "Yes." He shakes his head and smiles. He says his father drove the same vehicle for 19 years, paid cash for it, put every dollar he didn't spend on car payments toward his kids' education. He starts the Corolla. It coughs, catches, and settles into a steady idle. Tommy closes the hood. He says, "Most people thought his dad was cheap. He wasn't cheap. He was free." Tommy drives away. You sit in the Corolla while the heater starts to work. You don't put it in gear for a full minute. Something shifted. You can't name it yet, but something shifted. You drive to work. The sun is coming up. The car is still the car. That night you open the drawer. The number on the paper is $241,000. For the first time, you leave the paper on the counter instead of putting it back. That weekend, Leon calls. He needs $3,000 until next month. You say yes. He says he'll pay you back. You don't ask what it's for. You already understand the shape of it. You hang up and sit on the couch. And for the first time in many years, something becomes clear. You were never behind. Not once. The car is still the car. The doubt is dying. You are 34. The Corolla has 198,000 miles. On a Friday in March, sitting at a stoplight, you hear it. A grinding sound. Then a hiss. Then the engine goes quiet. You coast into a nearby parking lot. The mechanic who looks at it comes out wiping his hands on a cloth. He says head gasket. $2,800 to repair, and honestly, he wouldn't bother. You sit on a bench outside the shop in the afternoon sun. You are not sad. You open your savings account on your phone. The number is $310,000. You look at it for a long time. Victor calls that afternoon. He is 68 now and retired. He says he heard the Corolla finally gave out. You ask how he knew. He says your father mentioned it and that your father is proud of you. You say nothing. Victor says, "Do you remember what I told you at that lunch all those years ago?" You say you remember every word. Victor laughs quietly. He says most people don't buy cars, they buy permission. He says you were the first person in 20 years who actually heard that. You press the phone against your ear. Victor says you didn't save money, kid. You bought yourself. He hangs up. That evening you walk to a used lot near your place. A 2021 Corolla, 46,000 miles, $11,800. You pay cash. You drive it home. Your phone buzzes. A message from Leon. It says, "Can we talk? I'm in real trouble." You read it twice. You write back, "Come over." He arrives at 9 o'clock and sits on your couch. He is 31 and looks older than that. He says he is carrying $94,000 across 3 credit cards, the lease, and something else he doesn't name. You make coffee. You sit across from him. He says, "How did you actually do it? Be honest." You think about Victor. You think about Tommy. You think about Diane. You say, "I stopped buying permission." Leon doesn't understand yet. He will, eventually. You drive him home in the new Corolla. The radio works, the heater works, the door closes on the first try. You park in your own driveway just before midnight and sit in the car for one quiet minute. You think about Derek, about Carol, about the woman in the SUV at the grocery store, about your mother in the kitchen, about Tommy in the cold at 6 in the morning. Every one of them saw a car. You saw a question. The question was never what you should drive. The question was who you are, and you finally answered it. Maybe you are the person who has been driving the same car for many years. Maybe you are the one quietly wondering if you should be. Maybe you are Leon. Either way, there is a question sitting in your driveway. Whether you answer it is up to you.